NEET PG Rank Booster Sessions. Hello friends, I am Dr. Vivek Jain, Faculty of Preventive and Social Medicine, that is Community Medicine, and I welcome you to PSM Quiz Series. Today we come to quiz number 8, this Sunday evening quiz on my YouTube channel, Environment, Nutrition, Preventive Obstetrics and Pediatrics topics. Friends, very important topics. Mostly objective fact-based questions are asked from this topic. Friends, as of now, you must have understood what is the format of this quiz. I'll try to create the exact environment as you are going to get in your final most important exam of your life. So take a pen and paper, try to write down answer of each question we go through, and in the end tell me your score. We'll see how much you are prepared for the forthcoming examination. So what I will do, in your exam you get around 45 seconds to 1 minute per each question. So I will try to read the question alongside you. Then I will give you 20 seconds to mark the answer. Then we'll have a discussion on that. If required, I will give you more time for that particular question also. So guys and girls, what are you waiting for? Are you ready? Let us start with the first question. So the first question on your screen. Key guideline aspects recommended drinking water quality include all except turbidity less than 1 NTU, color less than 5 TCU, nitrate less than 45 mg per liter, total dissolved solid TDS less than 500 mg per liter, and your time starts now. So friends, what is the answer? According to the latest guidelines for recommended drinking water quality, let us look at all the criteria or quality standards. pH, it should be 6.5 to 8.5. Turbidity in the drinking water should be less than 1 NTU, nephelometric turbidity unit, or it should be less than 5 Hazen units. When we look at color, it should be less than 15 TCU, true color units. Nitrate should be less than 45 milligram per liter. Nitrite should be less than 3 milligram per liter. Fluoride should be ideally 0.5 to 0.8 ppm, but should be kept below 1 ppm in drinking water. Hardness should be 100 to 300 milligram per liter. Radioactivity is measured in terms of becquerel per liter. Alpha radioactivity level should be less than 0.5 and beta should be less than 1 becquerel per liter. Beside this, there should be no microorganisms, no viruses, bacteria or pathogenic organisms in the drinking water. So answer to this question is choice number B. They are asking you except. That means which is not correct. True color unit should be less than 15 when you are looking at color in the drinking water quality standards. We move to question number 2. Indicator used in apparatus shown in the photograph is benzyl benzoate, purple cresol, starch iodide, or is it litmus orange strip, and the time starts now. Easy question friends. That's it, time is over for this question. Friends, you tell me first, which is this apparatus? It has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 white cups and 1 black cup. Very right, this is Horrocks apparatus. What is the use of Horrocks apparatus in public health? It is used to estimate chlorine demand of drinking water. Chlorine demand means how much chlorine or bleaching powder is required to disinfect a given sample or amount of water. Here we use indicator starch iodide. And what is the formula which is used for calculation asked in many questions? Please listen to this formula carefully and remember. Formula is N into 2 grams of bleaching powder can disinfect 455 liters of water. And what is N in this question? Number of first cup to show color change when the starch iodide indicator is added, which gives blue color. So answer is choice number C. Let us move to the third question on your screen now. Apparatus shown in the photograph is used for measurement of cooling power of air ambient temperature, air humidity level, or is it pH of water, and the time starts now. So friends, again one of the easiest questions in the quiz today. So what is the answer? First to identify the instrument itself, then answer becomes very easy. This is a sling psychrometer. So what is the answer to this question? Sling psychrometer is used to measure air humidity levels or moisture or water content of air. Although this is sling psychrometer, also sometimes known as whirling psychrometer. What are the other instruments which can be used to measure air humidity? This include dry or wet bulb thermometer, number 1. Number 2, hygrometer. Number 3, sling psychrometer. Number 4, Assmann psychrometer. Let's look at cooling power of air, choice A. This is measured by Carta thermometer. Now, although this is a older answer, cooling power of air earlier used to be measured by Carta thermometer. What is the current use of Carta thermometer? It is used to assess low air velocity. Please remember this. Carta thermometer, older answer, cooling power of air. New answer, low air velocity. We move to question number 4. Rural housing standards in India. False is. So please be careful. False statement is being asked. Minimum 2 living rooms. Windows area 40% of floor area. Cattle shed more than 25 feet away. Sanitary latrine. And the time starts now. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. So friends, what is the answer to this question? Let's look at the list of all the rural housing standards in the country. Number 1, there should be minimum 2 living rooms. Number 2, windows area should be 10% of the floor area. Number 3, cattle shed should be more than 25 feet away. Number 4, there should be a sanitary latrine. Number 5, there should be a veranda space ample. Number 6, a sanitary well or a tube well must be within 1/4 or quarter of a mile. Number 7, there should be a separate kitchen. So answer of the question they are asking, false statement is choice number B. Window should not be 40% of the floor area. Window area should be 10% of the floor area minimum. Question number 5. Two vectors are given. Given vectors are identify the vector and tell the diseases transmitted by them. It is a fill in the blank type of question and the time starts now. That's it friends. So let us go one by one. We look at the vector given towards the top upper half of the slide, red colored vector. Which is this vector? This vector is trombiculid mite, sometimes referred to as sugar also. This trombiculid mite is the vector of which disease? It is the vector of a particular rickettsial disease, that is scrub typhus. We discussed it's the most widespread rickettsial disease characterized by eschar in our communicable disease quiz, right? What is it? Causative organism of scrub typhus, that is rickettsia. Shushuga mushi. Now look at the vector given in the lower half. That vector is very right, louse. And which disease it can transmit? It can mainly transmit 4 important diseases on this planet. 2 of them are rickettsial diseases. Which are those? Number 1 is epidemic typhus. Causative agent Rickettsia prowazekii. Second rickettsial disease, trench fever caused by Bartonella quintana. Third disease is relapsing fever caused by Borrelia, and fourth is pediculosis caused by pediculus. So these are trombiculid mite and louse. I am sure you must have identified these vectors, very commonly asked in the exam, correctly and carefully. We move to next question number 6. False about septic tank is 4 statements are given. Suitable for those with adequate water supply but do not have access to public sewerage system. Choice number B includes anaerobic digestion and aerobic oxidation. Choice number C, ideal retention period is 12 hours. And choice number D, desludging should be carried out once a year and your time starts now. They are asking a false statement, mind you. So friends, what is the answer? Okay, this is, let's go choice by choice. Choice number A, it is suitable for those with adequate water supply but do not have access to public sewerage system. This is a correct statement. This is mainly used for liquid and excreta waste. Look at choice number B, it includes anaerobic digestion and aerobic oxidation. Absolutely correct. Look at choice number C, ideal retention period is 12 hours. No, this is not correct. So this becomes the answer. What is the ideal retention period in a septic tank? It is actually not 12 hours but 24 hours. A very popular question of the exam. Choice number D, desludging should be carried out once a year. Yes, this is also a correct statement. So answer is choice number C. Minimum ideally capacity of a septic tank should be 500 gallons. Question number 7. Malarial parasite in Anopheles mosquito is an example of propagative transmission, cyclopropagative transmission, cyclodevelopmental transmission or transovarial transmission, and your time starts now. That's it friends. So what is the answer? Basically in this question we are being asked about types of biological transmission. If you look propagative, as the word is telling you, only propagation, it means only multiplication. So organism only multiplies inside the vector's body. So this has 2 very good examples. One is plague bacilli in rat flea, and another good example is yellow fever virus inside Aedes mosquito. When we look at cyclopropagative, cyclical and propagation also, so it is basically multiplication plus development. So cyclical, development and propagation and multiplication both are there. Best example is this malarial parasite in Anopheles mosquito. Look at the third type, cyclodevelopmental, only cyclical development. This example includes filaria in Culex mosquito as well as guinea worm. When we say guinea worm embryos in cyclops. Transovarial is from one generation to another. So answer to this question is choice number B. Please remember these types of biological transmission along with the 5 examples that are there in front of you on the screen right now. We move to question number 8. Acute severe malnutrition diagnostic criteria include all except. So what are the 4 criteria given? Bipedal edema, visible severe wasting, mid-arm circumference below 115 millimeter, weight for height below 2 standard deviation of WHO growth standards 2006, and your time starts now. So friends, what is the answer? Take your time, read choices carefully. So when we look at acute severe malnutrition diagnostic criteria given by WHO, these are actually 4 such criteria. Number 1 is bipedal edema. Number 2 is visible severe wasting. Number 3, when mid-arm circumference is below 115 millimeter. And number 4 is when weight for height is below 3 standard deviation, not 2 standard deviation of the WHO growth standards 2006, that is MGRS standards. So answer to this question is choice number D. So weight for height is not below 2 standard deviation, it should be below 3 standard deviation to be called as acute severe malnutrition by using WHO diagnostic criteria. Question number 9. A couple had bilateral non-inflammatory edema lower limbs. On examination, they also had erythema, diarrhea, dyspnea and glaucoma. Few days later, one parent developed congestive heart failure. Breastfed infant was not affected. Most likely toxin is BOA, sanguinarine, alkaloids or aflatoxin, and your time starts now. So friends, what is the answer to this clinical scenario based question? Clues lies in the question itself. Let's say bilateral non-inflammatory edema of lower limbs, glaucoma, dyspnea, congestive heart failure. These are features of which food adulteration disease? Very right, these are features of epidemic dropsy. So a very popular question. What is the toxin behind epidemic dropsy? Answer lies in the fact which food item is adulterated with which adulterant. Food item is mustard oil. That is not dangerous. But when it is adulterated with the adulterant, what is the adulterant? That is Argemone mexicana oil. Then this leads to production of a toxin in the body, that is sanguinarine. What does sanguinarine do in the body? It inhibits oxidation of pyruvic acid. So pyruvic acid or pyruvate accumulates in the blood and leads to manifestations of edema, that is bilateral, lower limbs, non-inflammatory. It also leads to dyspnea, glaucoma, congestive heart failure and death. So this is definitely sanguinarine, epidemic dropsy. Most sensitive test for this particular disease is paper chromatography test. Question 10 falls about FSSAI. First choice, it is Food Safety and Supervisory Authority of India. Second choice, established in 2006. Choice number C, headquarters at New Delhi. Choice number D, FSS Act took 7 older acts into one umbrella. And your time starts now. Friends, you have to mark false statement. So let us go choice by choice. Choice number A, it is Food Safety and Supervisory Authority of India. Is this correct? No, it is Food Safety and not Supervisory, Standards Authority of India. It was established in 2006 through the Act Food Standards and Safety Act of India 2006. Headquarters are yes located at New Delhi. It has 6 regional offices also. It took 7 older acts into a single umbrella act. Now out of those 7, one of the most important older act was Prevention of Food Adulteration Act 1954. Since in this question they have asked false, so choice number A is false. It is not supervisory but it is Standards Authority of India. Question number 11. Sedentary level woman energy requirement according to new RDA 2020 guidelines of India is 1660 kilocalories per day, 1920 kilocalories per day, 2130 or 2720 kilocalories per day, and your time starts now. So friends, what is the answer? Friends, this is a recent update. RDA guidelines, nutrition guidelines have been revised by National Institute of Nutrition and ICMR in the country. I have placed a separate video on these updated guidelines in my mobile app under the chapter nutrition. It's a new update video. Kindly go through all the revised new guidelines applicable on all Indians. So a lot of questions are expected from this topic in upcoming examination. So when we look at energy requirements in male and female according to their activity levels, sedentary level male requires 2100 kilocalories per day, moderate level 2700 kilocalories per day, and heavy level activity male requires close to 3500 kilocalories per day. When we look at females, women, sedentary level require 1660 calories, moderate level requires close to 2100 kilocalories per day, and heavy level requires close to 2700 kilocalories per day in women. So answer to this question is choice number A. Question number 12 is a match the following health program and beneficiary. There are 3 programs. One is RBSK, 2 is RKSK, 3 is ICDS. On the right side you are given 4 age groups, 10 to 19 years A, 0 to 18 years B, 0 to 5 years C, 0 to 6 year D. You can write your answer as 1A, 2B, 3C like so on, and your time starts now. So friends, what is the answer? First we look at RBSK 1. What is RBSK? Rashtriya Bal Swasthya Karyakram. Who is Bal? Bal is a child. What is the official age group of child in our country? That is 0 to 18 years. So I can say 1B. This RBSK program covers 4 Ds: diseases, deficiencies, defects, disabilities and developmental delays. Please remember it is a screening based intervention program. Second is RKSK. What is RKSK? Rashtriya Kishore Swasthya Karyakram. What is Kishore? Kishore is adolescent. So in our country, who is adolescent? Adolescent is 10 to 19 years of age. So I can say 2A. Then we look at choice number 3, that is ICDS, Integrated Child Development Services, that is Anganwadi system. Which age group children are there? It includes 0 to 6 years, 3D. Under ICDS, besides children 0 to 6 years, there are pregnant lactating women, reproductive age group 15 to 49, non-pregnant, non-lactating females, and 11 to 18 year adolescent girls also as beneficiaries. So answer to this question is 1B, 2A, 3D. I am sure most of you must have got this absolutely correct. Question number 13. 7 C's of RKSK include fill in the blank, and your time starts now. Write all these 7 C's in the answer. You get double the time to mark the 7 C's. That's it, friends. So friends, what is RKSK? Rashtriya Kishore Swasthya Karyakram. Logo is given in front of you. Kishore, I have just told you, is adolescents. Adolescents mean age group 10 to 19 year as beneficiary. So it will include all adolescents in the country. Rural also, urban also, rich also, poor also, school dropouts also, in educational institutions also, married also, unmarried also. This program is characterized by 7 C's. What are those 7 C's? First is clinic. Second is community. Third C, communication. Fourth C, content. Fifth C, convergence. Sixth C, coverage. And seventh C is counseling. Those of you who remembered all the 7 C's correctly, you guys have an amazing memory. But this is what we have to do for the exam. Even those of you who couldn't remember all the 7 correctly. So friends, we move to question number 14. Recommended number of antenatal visits in India are, fill in the blank type of question. You have to just write the number and the time starts now. So friends, what is the answer? How many of you wrote the answer 3 visits? How many of you wrote the answer 4 visits? How many of you wrote the answer 8 visits? None of them is correct. Please read the question carefully. We are talking of recommended antenatal visits in India. So if a pregnant female comes to your clinic for the first time, whether at sub-center, PHC, CHC, district hospital, private clinic, dispensary, medical college, anywhere in India, what is the guidelines by RCS program? Recommended number of antenatal visits are 13 to 14. So you will recommend, please take 13 to 14 visits. Even you know the timings of those visits. What are the timings? In first 7-month period of gestation, this visit should be taken once every month. In 8th month period of gestation, it should be twice a month. And 9-month onwards till delivery occurs, it is recommended to increase the frequency to once every week. So now if you see 7 visits in first 7 months, 2 visits in 8th month, and 4 to 5 visits till delivery takes place. 7 plus 2 plus 4 to 5. Total of 13 to 14 visits should be undertaken. Answer is not 4 visits because those are minimum. Nowhere in the question minimum is written in the question. If you are asked minimum visits antenatal, 4 in India, minimum visits antenatal according to WHO is 8. But we are being asked not minimum, recommended here 13 to 14. Question number 15. Newborn child with birth weight 1.8 kg will be classified as, according to low birth weight classification of WHO, fill in the blank type of question, and your time starts now. Friends, what is low birth weight in the country? In fact, globally this is same. Anyone having a weight below 2.5 kilogram. According to WHO classification, besides low birth weight, we have very low birth weight and extremely low birth weight. Very low birth weight is below 1.5 kg. Extremely low birth weight is below, yes, 1 kg. So according to this classification, answer to this question is low birth weight. Now at some places there is a fourth category also between low birth weight and very low birth weight, that is moderately low birth weight. So if any one of you has written moderately low birth weight as the answer, that is also absolutely correct in this question. Question number 16. A 15-year-old child presented in OPD with mental age 5 years. Based on IQ level, this child will be classified as filling the blank type of question, and your time starts now. You get additional time to solve this question. So friends, what is the answer? Friends, how do we calculate IQ? IQ level is calculated by the formula mental age divided by chronological age into 100. Look at this particular question. Mental age is 5 years divided by chronological actual age of the child is 15 years into 100. So IQ level of this child is 33 IQ points. Now when you look at Welchler classification commonly used, what is the classification? It says if a child is 0 to 24 IQ points, this is an idiot child. If IQ is 25 to 49, he should be classified as imbecile child. If it is 50 to 69, child should be classified as moron. If it is 70 to 79, then it is a borderline case. If it is 80 to 89, then this is low normal. And what is normal? Normal is taken as 90 to 109. 110 to 119 is taken as superior. 120 to 139 very superior. 140 and above is near genius. So when you remember this IQ based classification, answer becomes very easy, 33 IQ points. So this will be a imbecile child. Now we come to question number 17. Breast milk as compared to cow's milk is richer in all except lactose, water, iron or protein, and your time starts now. So friends, what is the answer? Friends, both milks used for infant feeding in the country have their importance. Breast milk is richer in lactose, water and iron. On the other hand, when we look at cow's milk, it is richer in proteins, fats, calcium and energy. Although energy there is a mild difference only. Human milk energy 65 kilocalories per 100 ml, cow's milk 67 kilocalories per 100 ml. So answer to this question is choice number D, proteins. So friends, that's it for the day. Now in this quiz, what is your score? I would love to know. Because according to my teaching experience of last 15 years, out of these 17 questions, you should have got 13 minimum correctly. So if you have got 13, 14 or 15 correct, you are absolutely on the right course to achieve very good marks and rank in the exam. If you have got 16 or 17 corrects, wow, amazing. This is truly a very good sign. If you have got less than 13, nothing to worry friends. Keep on practicing questions from these type of scoring topics. You can use any app, any book which you have been reading till now. Don't change your source before the exam. All is given in review of PSM book by me. Everything is given in my mobile Dr. Vivek Jain PSM app also. And friends, before we go, always I tell you something to motivate you. Please remember, I have realized there is no elevator to success. You always have to take these stairs. So from my side, I wish you all the best. Best of luck for the forthcoming examination. I will come back with more quizzes next weekend, Saturday 8 p.m., Sunday 8 p.m. IST on this very YouTube channel only. Thank you friends for giving your time. Go back to your study and keep on studying continuously. Those of you who want to download my mobile app, go to Play Store, download the app PSM Dr. Vivek Jain, and you can use coupon 25 as a discount code for 25%. Thank you. Take care. Stay healthy. Stay safe.